Hi everybody, it's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is with me, Father Warner. We are at the end of the second week of Advent. I've been taking little reflections from the Gospel. Today's Gospel is Matthew chapter 17 verse 10 to 13, and I've entitled today's teaching, Ask Jesus. I want to focus on those words taken from verses 10 to 13, just literally 5 words. The disciples asked him. I want to reflect on those words. The disciples asked him. You know, taking things to the Lord is a great way, I think, to clarify our faith doubts. Today, when in doubt, most of us will simply Google it. While our smartphones may give us smart answers, they may not give us the answer we need for our soul. Google answers the matter of the mind. The Lord answers the matters of the heart. Google is impersonal. The Lord simply is. Now, taking our questions to the Lord may not always give us the answers we want to hear, but will certainly give us the direction we need to move towards or the areas we need to look at. There was movement in this gospel text, if you look at it. A journey had just begun. This was a journey that had filled their sight and left them in wonder, and now they needed deeper insight. Just in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, let's look at the text. You see, Jesus had been transfigured in the presence of Peter, James, and John. Moses and Elijah had appeared and were talking to Jesus. If only the disciples knew what they were in for, I presume, they would have come a little more prepared. After all, realizing how unprepared they were for this meeting, the greatest and the most historic summits of Judaism's heavyweights who had just gathered there. Peter, you have Moses, you have Elijah, you have Jesus, it's all there. I'm sure the disciples must have thought, we should have come prepared for this. And so Peter feels, we are told, very compelled to respond to this unplanned program. And so he desires to build 3 tents. Comfort and convenience is perhaps what Peter hoped to bring to this meeting, or perhaps, as some suggest, this for Peter was the moment he wished, in a way, to last forever. Let's stay here forever. It's what a wonderful moment. Elijah, Moses, Jesus, let's stay on the mountain forever. The voice from heaven was not an indication as much as it was an instruction. What did the voice from heaven say? This is my son, the beloved, in whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. It is an instruction. It's not an indication. It's not you could listen to him. It's a clear instruction. Listen to him. Now, ironically, if you read the Gospels and see what happens after this text, you'll be surprised to discover that the disciples failed even to listen to the voice of God. They failed to do this, to listen to Jesus. But the apparition of the transfiguration and the instruction to listen to him was not entirely lost on his disciples, who were plagued several times in their life, in their ministry, with doubts even to the identity of Jesus. Now, as they begin this journey, because they were up on the Mount of Transfiguration, as they begin this journey down the hill, they begin to ask Jesus questions. The voice had asked them to listen to him, but they had doubts and questions, and listening at that point of time perhaps was not priority number 1 for them. As good Jews, they knew that the Messiah was to be preceded by the coming of Elijah. Now they saw Elijah up at the Mount of Transfiguration. They saw Moses, so they've seen Moses and Elijah for themselves. But in their mind, they're thinking, was Elijah not supposed to come before Jesus? And so Jesus answers them. He says Elijah had already come, but like Jesus, they did not recognize Elijah in the person of John the Baptist. And this brings us to the second thought for the day. You see, while we take things to the Lord, we are also invited this season of Advent to recognize his actions in our life. Like the Jews, we too are preparing for a coming. In Advent, we remind ourselves that Christ has promised to come again, And we also remind ourselves that we may be called to meet Him at the moment of our death. Like the Jews, we may choose to ignore what is obviously told to us, what is obviously shown to us, and we may even ignore what has been presented to us. My friends, the gospel of today teaches us to go to the one who can answer our questions, but even more, to be open to God who is revealing His will and His plan to us. I wish you a blessed day, and I hope that you will like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel. God bless you all. Keep well. I'll see you again tomorrow at 9 o'clock.